David should be. No, he's going to count me in. And we are back on the TD Report. I'm your host, David Combs.
Tony Kennedy.
Hey guys, what a great weekend it was, but not a great weekend for Washington Wizards fans and Capitals fans.
Not a great weekend for anything DMV. It's
Not
terrible.
well, no, well. Wait a minute. The Nationals have won 3 in a row. They went
They
1-0.
beat
They went. I don't care. Okay, go ahead and say it. Say it.
They beat the O's.
And
Man, come on.
it's a team, ain't it?
They're terrible.
They played 9 innings, right?
They're the worst team in the DMV.
Oh my gosh, the Orioles don't count as the DMV. They're in Baltimore anyway.
They all
That we just
have the
owned them.
same
We
name.
just owned them. So we're gonna have a special guest on tonight. We're gonna have Dave Duval, who is our, let's call him our monumental sports insider, since he's worked on Wizards, he's worked Caps, he's worked WFT, he's worked
seems like he's
women's-
worked everything.
he's worked everything in the DMV as far as sports. And, Dave's going to give us a call today. We're going to talk about what happened with the Capitals this season. As we lead into that, the Capitals lose in their first round series to the Boston Bruins, 4-1. At one point, the Capitals were just about, a minute away from tying that series at 2-2.
Hey, man, this all goes back 3 years when they didn't pay the man the money. So that's what you get when like they say, you get what you pay for.
Well, let's talk about that. The Capitals have gone into 3 playoff series since Barry Trotz was the coach. Barry Trotz won them the Stanley Cup in 2018. It was a great summer. That was a fun summer. So 2019, 2020, and 2021, they've gone out in the first round 3 times in a row. Barry Trotz is no longer the coach because he and Ted Leonsis could not agree in a contract year. Now, if you are going to be in a contract year and you win the Stanley Cup, you've got the bargaining position. You have the power. You have the upper hand. And Ted didn't look at it that way and decided not to pay him.
It's over for the Caps.
You think it's over for the Caps?
Yeah, I think it's over for the Caps, buddy, because when you start going out in the first round
Consecutive years,
and right after you won a championship, now you have to almost rebuild.
Well, we'll let Dave get deeper into that piece, but you've also got something else going on. Alexander Ovechkin's contract is up. This is almost the 13-year anniversary of when Ted Leonsis signed a young Alexander Ovechkin, and who knew that we'd be looking at the great player that he is, Hall of Fame player. He's going to go in the Hall of Fame as soon as he's eligible when he stops playing. He's one of the top 5-10 players to ever play. You couldn't have thought that when he signed a 13-year, $160-something million deal.
Great player, and you only got 1 Stanley Cup.
You know what? I'll take 1 Stanley Cup.
Need to be multiple.
No. This is Washington.
Uh-huh.
It still can be, but it's going to...
He's not going anywhere.
Well, thank you, Cody. Cody is offset for us today, working behind the glass. I agree with you, Cody. It should be multiple Stanley Cups, but the chances for those multiple Stanley Cups came in the last 2 or 3 seasons, right?
Actually,
And then the 4 or 5 seasons before we won the Stanley Cup,
the 4 or
that we
5
should have
seasons
won one.
Before that,
I would
should have been
say
at least 1. They should have at least 3 sitting on them little rings on the thing because
Yeah.
you don't get nothing here. On the rings, that should have been the 3rd parade.
But I would say the Capitals' window for winning a Stanley Cup started in 2015, 2014.
Started around 2013, 2014, and
they should have won one.
It ended in 2020.
Right.
It ended at the pandemic.
You think it ended at the pandemic?
It was over.
Alexander
that
Ovechkin,
team,
during
that is an old team.
During that time, Ovechkin was scoring at ridiculous levels. The pandemic, more than likely, when we look back on it in hindsight, that's cost him the goal scoring record. He had an outside chance of getting it.
Yeah.
He was averaging 40 goals, something a season. It's going to be a lot to ask him to miss what amounts to the time for that one season and make up that many goals. It's probably too much. Alexander Ovechkin, all-time great player. He was thought to be a poor leader. That was one of the criticisms of him, that he took shifts off, that he didn't forecheck, that he didn't do the things that a forward should do. But I'll be honest with you, Alexander Ovechkin has done everything that has been asked of him for this franchise. Everything. Okay. At one point, you realize, everyone, at one point, the Washington franchises, all at the same time, we had Robert Griffin III here, Bryce Harper, Alexander Ovechkin, and John Wall. They all overlapped for at least a couple of years in there. And at the time, all four of those guys were four of the best young players, most established players, most astonishing players in their respective leagues.
How many is left now?
Just Ovechkin.
How many championships we got to show for that?
One. That's it.
With them on it.
With them on it.
Yeah, because the Nats won without
the Nats won
Bryce
without Bryce Harper. Mm-hmm. So you could say, and UVA fans, please don't call the show, the Tiki Barber effect with Bryce Harper. As soon as Tiki Barber retired from the Giants, they won the Super Bowl the next year.
That's not good.
That's not good. As soon as Bryce Harper left the Nationals, they won the World Series the next year.
So as soon as Ovechkin leaves the Caps, they win the World.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't count because he won one.
Yeah.
It's like the Jacoby Jones. Hey, you can love me or hate me, but I got a ring. I love it. So when you look at the Caps' future, this, and you said it, Tony, it's bleak.
Bleak.
You're gonna strip mine this team, and you're just gonna leave who? TJ Oshie. You're gonna leave TJ Oshie out here. You're gonna move. You've got to move. You've got to move. Kuzi got to go. Kuznetsov got to go. Tom Wilson got to go. He got to go. Got to go. Get him out.
Hey, it's time, man.
It's time. You're saying break it down like a shotgun. Start over.
It's time because that coach, you don't have your coach. And that coach that you had was the reason why he just knew the team.
Barry Trotz he's doing okay in New York.
He done brought the Islanders back.
The Islanders they're a commodity.
They're gonna fight. The Islanders are gonna fight because they got good coaching.
Hey, Cody, if you don't mind, how are the Islanders doing in their first rounder? Are they doing?
I think it's 2-2.
They're 2. They're still in it. They're still in it.
They're playing the Penguins, right? I think they're playing the Penguins.
2-2
against the Pens.
1-1 right now at the end of the first.
Against the Pens.
Woo,
okay. Well, that's, you know what? I'm not mad at Islanders fans. Congratulations to them that they're still in. Hey, Dave Duval, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good. What's going on?
You the man. So, everyone, we've got Dave Duval on the show. He is our Wizards expert and our Caps expert, monumental sports guy. Welcoming Dave to the show. Thanks for coming on short notice. Looks like our Capital season ended a little bit before we thought it would.
Yeah, it's tough. It's ever since they won the Cup in 18, it's been 3 straight first-round exits. It's funny because the years before the Stanley Cup, they lost to the Penguins, and they subsequently won the Stanley Cup. So losing to the eventual champion kind of feels different. But last year, they didn't lose to the champion. This year, it's hard to see the Bruins winning it all.
No.
So now you have to say to yourself, well, where are the Caps in terms of, the pecking order in the East? So this loss leaves, way more questions than answers.
That's the thing. And Big Tony is on the show with me. Tony, let's bring you in here. Okay. Bringing Tony in here. Tony, you're of the mindset that you think that the Capitals should just go ahead and start the rebuild now.
Yeah, I think they should start the rebuild now because of their this coach here needs to get his own team. I think he needs to get his own crew. And I just don't think that this crew is his crew. I mean, it's obvious from the first round.
These are Barry Trotz's guys for the most part, with the exception of some of the the free agent acquisitions. Wouldn't you agree with that, Dave?
Yeah, definitely. He inherited a lot of these guys, obviously, and there really haven't been wholesale changes to the staff either. So it's one of those things where, and there's going to be an expansion draft, if I'm not mistaken, coming up this summer. Mm-hmm. They're adding Seattle is now coming into the NHL. So there's going to be a migration. Anytime there's expansion,
they're going to protect them.
You're going to lose players. When the Vegas Knights came in, they took players.
Yes.
So this might be sort of the perfect time to Tony's point, to maybe hit the reset and maybe let some high-priced veterans go, build with youth. Um, Sam Sanoff is a good young goalie. Um, so you got, obviously a guy there. I would say it's the Capitals offense that betrayed them more than their defense. Um, when you can't score more than one goal,
Oh my gosh.
You're not gonna advance in the postseason.
No, that's awful.
You can't expect to try to win 1-0 every game. So I think maybe some young legs, some younger forwards, might be the way to go for the Capitals. But they're not a reclamation project. I mean, they still got talent, and they might be, if they do this right, they could rebuild on the fly. But I think it's a natural transition this offseason with the expansion, Seattle coming in, and some of these high-priced veterans probably need to go.
So, speaking of high-priced veterans, obviously Alexander Ovechkin is up. Okay, he did not have an agent. He signed that deal directly with Ted Leonsis. Is he going to push away the NHLPA and go into this next negotiation without an agent and do his deal again with Leonsis, or does he hire an agent and possibly try to push his salary up and make it to where the Capitals aren't able to do as much as they want to do as far as transforming this team back into a cohesive unit that this coach can coach?
Well, that's a great question, Dave. It's kind of a luxury that Ovi has, not really had to have an agent, and his relationship with Ted Leonsis is such that when he wants to play in the Russian league in the off season, Ted Leonsis has been historically very open to that. Now, as he gets up there in age, and you have to start thinking about the salary cap. Where does he slide in? I don't doubt that the channels of direct communication are open.
Ted Leonsis. If Obi calls Ted Leonsis, he's picking up on that second ring. You best believe that. But it just stands to, you just wonder, beyond Ovechkin, what's the direction? Because it's hard to imagine him playing for another team. But then again, it was hard to imagine Barry Trotz leaving after he won the Stanley Cup.
Oh, God. We always walk into that one, Dave.
I know.
So
it's hard to predict, but I do think that Ted Leonsis will do almost anything he can to retain Ovi.
Well, what we talked about earlier on the show was how much Ovechkin has done for the NHL, for the Washington Capitals franchise, and let's be honest, for the city of Washington. I mean, that victory parade, that was an event, man. They let my son's the kids were all there. Those kids had a great time with that. Some of these kids were getting let off of school.
Yeah.
When has that ever happened in this? When has that ever happened in this town? That used to happen when we were kids. Yeah. When the Redskins would win a Super Bowl, DC public schools weren't going to school that day, buddy. Nope. Catholic schools was out. You went to Wilson, Dave, so I know y'all weren't in school.
Yeah. No, we were down on the metro, and went right downtown, around noon, and then, kicked off, and, everyone was hyped for Doug Williams. I mean, I remember it well.
So let's close the book on the Capitals here. So-so season, terrible ending. We're going to stay tuned on that piece of it. We're definitely going to have you back on the show as things kind of materialize as far as the agency and the expansion draft. Cody just mentioned there's going to be an expansion draft coming up. So we're going to have to see if somebody like a TJ Oshie gets offloaded, or if they protect a guy like Kuznetsov. And Kuznetsov for an expansion team would be a nice player to grab if he's left available.
I mean, there's a reason the Vegas Knights in their first year went as far as they did, because you get the pick of the litter as an expansion draft in some ways. I mean, you remember when Jacksonville, the Jaguars, and the Panthers came in the league in the late '90s, and man, listen, both those teams were in the playoffs very quickly.
Very quickly.
So again, I mean, it's an expansion draft. If you've got a decent GM and a decent coach, I mean, things can go from 0 to 100 real quick.
Yes, sir. So, as we transition here on the TD Report, we are talking with our Monumental Sports insider, David Duval, D Double, here on the show with Big Tony and Dave. Let's talk about our Washington Wizards. Now, we're in the playoffs. I didn't think the Wizards were going to make the playoffs. They had a 0.6% chance of making the playoffs, and they made it. And for their trouble, they get to play the number 1 seed, Philadelphia 76ers. Joel Embiid is a problem, okay? Him a big problem, okay? Do you think that the Wizards have a chance after dropping a really good opportunity to possibly steal Game 1?
Well, I mean, if you're a Wizards fan, the Game 1 loss definitely had you muttering to yourself because, the fourth quarter, there just was a sequence where there were just turnovers and missed opportunities. You see Ben Simmons missing at the line, leaving the door open, but the Wizards just sort of couldn't get out of their own way. Scott Brooks starting the 3-guard lineup with Westbrook, Neto, and Beal, even though Beal's listed as small forward. I mean, most of us, think that he's a guard.
He's a guard.
You are kind of going, you're putting yourself in a tough bind because someone's going to have to switch out and guard, Simmons or Harris. And on Sunday, yesterday, Harris was the guy in the first half. I think he had 30 points in the first half or something.
Oh, Tobias Harris just killed us.
Yeah,
I mean, just
Tobias was doing his thing.
Well, he violated us, bro. That was bad. He violated us, bro.
Tobias Harris is a great player and all, but I mean, 30 in the first half. That's probably something went horribly wrong in your scouting report. But it's one of those things where the Sixers are the number 1 seed for a reason. They're a good defensive team. They play hard. They don't have, many flagrant weaknesses. And the role players like, the Danny Greens and those kind of guys, they have a lot of playoff experience. So
don't they have Seth Curry?
They got Doc Rivers, who's, a very good coach.
Don't they have Seth?
So, I mean, they're the Sixers are there. But that being said, the Wizards certainly will have opportunities in this series, whether it's, Simmons missing free throws and crunch time, or, I don't think the Sixers shot particularly well either. So the formula for them is they're going to have to, shoot well. They're going to have to rebound. And they're going to have to try not to get in foul trouble. It's hard not to see Embiid going to the line 12, 15, 17 times.
And he makes his shots, though.
Yeah, he makes his free throws. And if he's going to the line 15 plus times, that means that somebody, at least one of your bigs is in serious foul trouble. So that's kind of like the formula right now the Sixers have laid out. I don't think they're going to deviate, and it's up to the Wizards to adjust.
Hey, Dave, how about they don't double Embiid and put Gafford out there and just go Gafford and just go either Lynn or what's the big dude? Big long hand. Lopez. And just go from there. And just let him be. If Embiid score 50, let him score 50. Well, don't let these other clowns get off and wide open shots because you now running and chasing.
You're tearing up your defense you're tearing apart the integrity of your defense by totally going double and triple, to try to get the ball out of Embiid's hands because he's finding open guys. The problem I have is this. I think our problem is also on offense. Did we score 118 points? Yes. But the problem I do have is if we're going to use Alec Len on pick and roll, he's got to space the floor. Mm-hmm. If he sits there and brings his man and brings him over to where Beal or Westbrook are, that hurts us. Mm-hmm. Okay, it makes those two guys too easy to guard because now you've got this big body in the way and you've got either the sideline or the baseline that they have to negotiate. And you just have to back the ball out. And you're just starting all over again. I don't know, Dave. I don't like how Game 1 went. I wasn't expecting it to go that way. But I also don't have a lot of faith in Scott Brooks' ability to X and O our way out of this. They have Doc Rivers. We have Scotty Brooks. Okay.
Well, I mean, that's a great point. Doc's taking teams to finals, the conference finals. His pedigree is well known. I do think that Westbrook can play a little better offensively than he did. He only had 5 rebounds. He had some interesting shots. Westbrook, again, it's high risk, high reward with him. There's going to be some moments where you're like, what's going on? But there's also going to be moments where he's like a one-man army out there sometimes.
Right.
So again, he can play better than he played. I think you have to be happy with Lynn, Gafford, and Lopez. Overall, the big guys shot pretty well. Gafford was 6 for 6 from the field. That was great. You love to see him play like that. And that's every game he plays in the playoffs, he's getting good experience. Rui's getting good experience. They may not have more than maybe one victory in them in this series. Before the series started, I thought it'd be 4-1 Sixers. I haven't seen a whole lot to make me change my mind. But I do think the end of game execution is a little frustrating because I just felt like the Wizards could have done more to make this a one possession game with like a minute left.
If you ask any Oklahoma
City, if you're a Wizards fan, that's probably kind of how you're feeling. It's obvious the Sixers are better; they're the 1 seed. But there were things in that fourth quarter that made you scratch your head and say, "Come on, guys!
But
couldn't cut it down to 3 or 4 with like a minute 10 left."
Dave, if you ask any Oklahoma City fan, they'll say that they saw the exact same thing from Scott Brooks in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
In-game situations will kill you. Mm-hmm. In-game situations, out of timeouts, out of bounds plays, free throw situations, dead ball. I would guarantee you, if me and you sat and cracked tape, we would sit there and find 5 and 6 different possessions. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Mm-hmm. What is this? I sound like J.K. Simmons in Whiplash. What is this? What is that? What is this? Is that a half note? Is that an eighth note? What is that? I mean, literally, if novices like myself, I'm not an NBA guy. I don't know the NBA. I can't break down X and O's like, I don't know, the czar of the telestrator, Mike Fratello, or, Hubie Brown, or anyone like that. Or, hey, rest in peace, Dr. Jack. I'm not like that. But I can say this. If I sit there and I watch certain situations where guys like Westbrook, why does he have the ball here? This is not where he scores from. Why does Beal have the ball here in this situation? He needs the ball later in the shot clock to get us a shot off, unless he's going to be the one taking the shot. Why does Rui have the ball here? These type of things. Or Alec Len, what are you doing on the pick and roll? You're supposed to roll and get the you-know-what out of the way. Literally, that's your job. Your job is to pick this is the Michael Jordan thing. Either give Mike the ball or give Mike the ball and get the you-know-what out of his way. That's literally what I want with Beal. I want everyone away from him because I don't want help. I don't want anyone to have to help on Beal. I want the help to come when he makes his move. But I don't want Beal to get the ball and there's 2 guys looking right at him. I mean, that's because our pick man won't get out of the way and take his man with him. That's literally stuff from YMCA ball, right? Okay, you brought your man over here. Now what am I supposed to do? Now one man is guarding 2 of us. What are we doing here? So, as you can tell, Dave, I'm sorry, and I probably need to just go. I probably need to have an edible or something because the Wizards just really have me agitated at this point. I literally am gonna need to.
It's funny because Beal had an interesting game. I mean, I thought he played well.
Beal played fine.
He was 12 for 17 from 2-point range, which is phenomenal. And then he was 1 for 6 from 3-point range. And so you just say, man, if he could, if he could just make a couple more threes somewhere in that mix, maybe a 3 for 6 night, that game's probably coming down to the final seconds. And who knows? Maybe they go hack a Ben. Maybe they get a chance to win it. Ben Simmons was 0 for 6 from the line. So
I want Ben to have the ball, but I want Ben to have the ball in late game situations.
I didn't realize he was that terrible.
I will hack a Ben.
That's a weakness that the Sixers have that obviously a good team like the Bucks or the Nets will be able to exploit that. And you say to yourself, well, are the Wizards good enough to exploit it? Well, in order to exploit it, it's going to have to be a close enough game to exploit it. And there were moments where I thought the Wizards offensively were a little too, laissez-faire about getting into their sets and different things. And again, the Sixers are a good defensive team. They
yes.
really are.
Doc has brought that with him. Yeah, Doc brought that with him.
They defend. It's just. I think they at one point had the second best points per game allowed. For most of the year, so they get it done. And Doc played maybe like 6-7 guys off that bench. So
wow.
Dwight Howard, Bible, and George Hill.
Wait, they have George Hill. Wait,
sighting.
Hold on.
If you see George Hill, it must be playoff time, right?
George Hill.
George Hill's still in the league.
Mm-hmm.
George Hill is 125 years old.
He's still in the league.
Oh my gosh.
He's still in the league, and George Hill is like maybe to a lesser degree, kind of like the another version of Rondo. Like in the regular season, you're like, what's going on? I never see him. And then in the playoffs, all of a sudden, he's getting his little 20 minutes in there.
Well, George Hill came over from.
That's the way it goes with these veterans.
George Hill played on a lot of those San Antonio Spurs teams, and then he got traded, and he ended up where in Indiana, I think, is where he ended up going to, and he's still in the league. I mean, I knew he was still in the league, but I'm being being kind of funny, but I mean, really.
Exactly.
I mean, Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard.
TNT when they go, who he play for?
This is driving me crazy. Just even talking about the Wizards right now, I would have loved to have seen them steal Game 1 and at least make this series interesting. So we're gonna look at Game 2 coming up on Wednesday. Before we move off the Wizards, and Dave, I want to keep you here because we've got some WFT news that we need to talk about, but a little bit of scuttlebutt with the Skins. What are you looking forward to? What do you see happening in Game 2? Give us your preamble to Game 2. That's on Wednesday, I believe, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, Game 2, number one is keep the turnovers down. They only had 15 for the game, but it felt like every turnover was just one of those face palm type things. I think there's one turnover where Westbrook passed it to the referee.
Oh, come on.
What are we doing, So if you can keep those turnovers down, let's say 13 or fewer, you're going to have to make at least 10 3-pointers. They made 8. 13 or fewer turns, 10 or more threes. And I think they did a respectable job on the boards. They were +1. They were Westbrook had 14 assists, Beal had 6. That's 20 from the starting backcourt. That's a good number.
Mm-hmm.
So take care of the ball, hit a few more threes, and I think you'll be in a position to maybe go hack a bin, and especially if guys aren't in foul trouble, you can definitely go hack a bin. And who knows, you might be able to tie this thing up and come back home.
Okay. So as we move off the Washington Wizards, down 0-1 in their first round series against the Philadelphia 76ers, thanks for everyone joining us here on the TD Report. I'm your host, David Combs, talking here with Tony Kennedy. We've got our Monumental Sports insider, Dave Duval, on the line. Dave, sounds like we've got a little WFT news for you here. So I was poking around on Twitter today. I shouldn't be on social media, okay? I need to stay off of there because I keep getting banned. I keep catching 30-day bans for cursing folks out. But let's talk about the Julio Jones rumors. Now, Julio Jones was on on the Club Shay Shay. He was on with Shannon Sharpe today. I don't think that they told him that he was on the air. I think he just thought he was talking to Shannon on the phone.
Exactly.
And Shannon put him on speaker. Right. Shannon put him on speaker on the show. And did I not hear him say, "I'm out of here"? I think I heard him say that. I think that's what he said. So
that's what he said.
Are you're the GM, or how about this? You're Arthur Blank. You're coming out of Chick-fil-A, you're having your coffee, you're eating your chicken biscuit, and then you hear Julio Jones on a sports show, and you say, "Oh, Julio's on." And then Julio says, "I'm out of here." Did you just spill your coffee on your $275 slacks? I think you did.
Well, apparently this has been ongoing for months. You requested it a month ago.
Now if that same interview, if I'm not mistaken, he did say that he wasn't planning to go into Dallas, because I know Skip was definitely, was probably that was Skip's next question.
Skip.
But Skip. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, as we know, the NFL offseason drama gets real thick. I'm not sure that Arthur Blank has entertained the notion of trading him. And when training camp starts, if he doesn't report, we all know how that goes.
He ain't reporting.
Weekly fines.
He don't care.
So it'll be interesting. Because again, when the Falcons drafted Kyle Pitts, I think people said, "Wow, you put a Kyle Pitts next to Julio Jones, and suddenly, maybe Matt Ryan starts to look like a top 10 QB again." And now this is going on.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a Falcons fan, you got to be like, "Come on, man, can't we just see Julio and Kyle Pitts together for a little bit before we start, giving up on everything?"
Before you give up 40 points a game.
It was
right?
a very interesting morning.
So you had the Julio Jones interview today. Then I think on Twitter, right after he said those words, something on Twitter popped up where there are 9 teams that have about $9 to $10 million in cap room, and the WFT happened to be one of them. And that started WFT. It started the blogs and everything. Cody, were you on the blogs today? Did you see anything interesting on that? But I saw a couple of guys that are WFT followers that tweet a lot.
Just
I think Redskins Realm. Yeah. He was tweeting today.
Just all rumors and
rumors and innuendo. Okay. Well, hey, it's the summertime. It's almost the summertime in football. So this is rumor and innuendo central. Now, Cody, you had something for us right before we came on today.
Sorry, just wanted to bring up Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers not showing up to OTAs today for the first time.
Dave, your comments on that? Aaron Rodgers decides he's going to go to the Dairy Queen for the first day of OTAs. So, what do you think about that?
Well, the Aaron Rodgers situation, for some reason, I think his heels are dug in kind of hard here. And obviously, I don't think that, the Packers have really planned for life after Aaron. It's not going to be, it's real nice to go from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, right?
Sure.
But, your next option after that, you're probably not going to go from Hall of Famer caliber to Hall of Fame caliber. That just doesn't happen. You think about Montana going to Steve Young. You think about Peyton Manning going to who's your guy?
Andrew Luck
in the same draft in RG3.
Hey, listen. Those analogies you just gave, it's like going from Mariah Carey to Scarlett Johansson. I'll take that any day. Okay, exactly. No one's arguing. Exactly. I mean, the results.
But
the results.
Blake Bortles or whoever's there. Jordan Love. I mean, that's got 4 and 12 written all over it.
Okay.
So if you're a Packers fan, I think you're probably borderline petrified because Aaron Rodgers hasn't been happy with the last few drafts, and he's had the ball taken out of his hands with the game on the line. I think he's dead ass. I think he's serious about not playing for the Green Bay Packers this year. So if I was Packers Nation, I would be petrified.
Would he really sit out an entire season at this stage in his career?
I don't think the thing is, Aaron Rodgers doesn't need the money. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, he could conceivably be like, look, if you don't trade me, I'll sit out.
Okay.
That's very, very possible.
So what? He goes surfing for a year?
He's not happy with numerous things. It's not like, the offensive coordinator or the playbook. I think it's like a handful of things he's not happy about.
Okay.
And if you just think you're going to pass the ball to Blake Bortles and go 10-6, you're about to find out.
If I was Vegas, I would pull the trigger right now.
Yeah.
I will pull the trigger right now.
For him Gruden out in Vegas, absolutely.
I will pull the trigger.
I don't
right
know what.
now.
Obviously, they probably would have to give up a whole lot, but again, the Julio situation. We'll see what happens if Matt Ryan comes to visit and talk, and then Julio. I know, talking to Shannon Sharp.
Julio didn't sound like a brother that was trying to stay.
You heard it here first. He's going to L.A.
Convince Aaron Rodgers to stay in Green Bay. I don't know who has that gravitas.
Yeah. You think of Rams?
Or
you think of Rams or Chargers?
I think the Rams get him, Dave. I think the Rams get Julio, and I think Aaron Rodgers end up in somewhere like Vegas.
I would love to see. By the way, Tony and I are going to be at the draft next year, so we would love to see Aaron Rodgers in Vegas because that'll take Vegas fans up another notch.
Yes, it will.
I mean, they're going to be amped when we get there, regardless. But you bring Aaron Rodgers in there, and that changes the whole atmosphere in Vegas around football. And this is good. If you're Goodell,
that's good.
You kind of want this to happen because that's good for your ownership in Las Vegas. That's good for the Davis family. It's I think it's Mark Davis.
I love that. Can you imagine the Raiders and Chiefs like in week 16, week 17, winning just the division? Oh wow!
Aaron Rodgers can grow that mustache out a little longer. You get the eye patch. I think that would be pretty cool.
So that division would have Aaron Rodgers, Mahomes,
Justin Herbert,
and who's the other?
Rams quarterback is
no, it's not the Rams. Who's the fourth team?
The Broncos.
The Broncos.
And the Broncos
quarterback to be named later. And you make a good point, Tony. If you are the Raiders, you don't want to see Aaron Rodgers in Denver. One way to be sure that doesn't happen is if you have him on your roster. I call it the old Dean Smith. I was like, he's 6'10". He ain't James Worthy, but I don't want him going to Duke and I don't want him at Virginia. So I'm gonna put him on my bench. That way I know where he at. Right? Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that strategy.
Yeah, I just think the NFL is really good with marketing, and that just brings Vegas Raiders team up. I mean, it's natural.
Hey, Dave. Tony is already wearing Raiders colors right now. He got on the gray and black. He got the black Scully on. He's stumping for the Raiders already.
That's my AFC team.
Nah, man. He got an AFC. Team. That's his AFC. That's his AFC girlfriend.
My cousin Rome. Hey, I see you, baby. Raiders.
Look, man. The Raiders. I'll be honest with you, Tony. You bring up a great point as far as marketing. Did any NFL team in the 80s and 90s sell more merch than the Raiders?
No, they're the ones who created the black.
They created the whole black colorway, as the black alternative uniform. Once the Raiders, because that was their colors, the Raiders and then the Los Angeles Kings changed their colors and went black and silver, that literally changed everything. That move alone must have made starter, just on the starter jackets, must have made them. I bet it made him $100 million.
They made
easy.
So much money.
Man, them starter jackets between Georgetown, UNLV, Raiders,
the White Sox.
That made a bunch of money, dog. I mean, that was. Yeah. I mean, if you didn't, Dave, you grew up in this town like me and Tony did, and Cody, y'all remember. If you had that Georgetown, the blue Georgetown starter jacket, that jacket was it. I mean. That was it, unless your pops could hook you up with the Raiders. You got the Raiders. And the black Raiders Scully, oh, man, come on.
Hey, Dave, you want to hear something else, too? Everyone here in the DMV is worried about where Daniel Snyder's coming. Here's what's going to happen. Daniel Snyder, on December 5th, 2021, he's going to see the Raiders are going to play the Washington football team. And when he goes out to Vegas, and he sees how that stadium is sitting right there by those casinos, he's going to then come back to Maryland, cut that deal with Oxon Hill, and put that stadium right there by that casino.
You're damn right.
Run everything down on that water.
Yeah. No, I mean...
That's what's going to happen.
The NFL needs to change its name to License to Print Money. Because literally... That land is just sitting there right for the taking.
With the casino?
With the casinos already set up. We don't even have the riverboats yet. We have the water taxi that takes you back and forth. But you get the riverboats where you can gamble? Oh, come on.
Then you got it.
You got everything.
That's the only area with all three areas it is. Northern Virginia.
Right there.
It's Maryland and it's D.C.
Right there.
Right there. That's where they come.
That spot right there in Oxon Hill from the tip of Washington, D.C. is about...
National Harbor.
National Harbor.
They call it National Harbor.
No, that was a brilliant real estate plan with everything on it.
That's where you put the
It's like a buddy of mine, Dave and Tony, we'll have to hook up with this cat. A buddy of mine started dating a girl that owns a spot over there right on the right near Grace's Mandarin. Man, this crib is so laid out. I mean, so can you imagine on a game day if the WFT were to go over there? We don't even have to go to games, bro. You literally sit there on an 80-inch, 100-inch TV, and all the drinks you can drink. You ain't got to fight that traffic. I mean, it's totally changed just how people are going to watch sports in the DC metro area if Snyder can get this deal done. Knowing Snyder, he's already talking about it, trying to make this work, back channels, probably trying to talk to Hogan before Hogan gets out of. He wants to get it done before Hogan gets out of office because whoever the next governor is might not want to work the deal with him, and Hogan was already involved.
Well, he needs to get it done before Baltimore wises up and want a stadium where they get so they can get the Super Bowl. So right now in the state of Maryland, you better get your stadium.
What the Ravens have with M&T right now, and everybody here in this room, and I know, Dave, I know you've been to M&T a bunch of times too, to working on games. What M&T Stadium did is they are the model for how you build multi-stadiums within an area, with the two parking lots in between the stadiums, Camden Yards, parking lot, M&T, and then the casino right next to it. That's the model. That's the model. The horseshoe, you could hit, Tony, me and you could hit the horseshoe from M&T standing on the upper deck. Now, you've seen what M&T has done for the city of Baltimore, for that downtown area. It's been great.
Yep.
If they build, Tony, what are the specs for a stadium to hold a Super Bowl? Has to be a dome. It has to be a dome. It's East Coast. It's East Coast team.
Has to be in an area that's warm that year if it's not a dome.
We're gonna have to have a dome. We're gonna have to have a dome. We'll have to have a dome.
You'll have to have a dome here. Yeah.
It'll be a retractable dome.
Roof.
How many seats? Got to seat at least 90.
75, 80 or something like that.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
What is M&T? What does M&T seat now?
I want to say 78, 80.
Okay, if you're Bashada,
65, 75.
Yeah. No, not 75. It's got to be more than 75.
I think
Cody's look.
What is
M&T seat? It's not 90.
What is M&T? Yeah, because it has to be. Yeah, it ain't 90.
It's not 90. Okay.
Because the Washington football team used to be 90.
Oh, 71,000.
Next to Dallas when that happened.
71,000. So. Dave says 71. 71,000. Yeah. So you go 71,000. Maybe you do a stadium reorg, like the WFT has done a few times, and you can maybe squeeze another 5,000 seats in there.
FedEx is at 82 currently,
and that's 82 down from 90 something.
Right.
I think it was
93.
It used to be 93.
Yeah.
And they tried to cheat Prince George's County out of the parking money, and had to push it. He did. Daniel Snyder got caught.
Yeah.
So, let's say they do a reorg and build on top of M&T and build the retractable. Or they start over.
They start over, go right across the street and build it right there.
They'll go right across the street.
So they just use M&T as a parking lot.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of land over there.
There's a ton of land. They got all that land over
there. That's what they should do.
They basically, what Baltimore did is what Philadelphia did. What Philadelphia did to me is a sports paradise. You can walk to Phillies. You can walk across the parking lot to see hockey or basketball. So Flyers, Sixers, and then you go to the link.
The only thing that they didn't, the only thing that's left out is up in Chester is the soccer team.
It's the soccer team.
Yeah, but they built everything right there.
They built everything right there, and there's an NBC Sports Washington sports bar right in the middle with all the parking, the subway, the train goes right there. It's beautiful. It's perfect. You literally do not have to take a cab or anything. Once you get off the subway, you can walk to any one of those four teams to see them play.
Yep.
3 venues within a half a mile of each other.
Yep,
it's beautiful. Now, we can't necessarily do that in the district, but if they keep the team out here the WFT, if he keeps the team out here and doesn't force his way back into the district, which I don't think he'll be able to do, there was some talk that maybe they were going to build on the old RFK site. That's been talked about for years, which is why the team name, if it's going to be the WFT and it's not the Redskins anymore, maybe the federal government and the DC government doesn't fight. Well,
there's nothing
that neighborhood is gentrified so much now.
But there's nothing around it.
Well, just the stadium, the Armory is there, and then the subway.
There's nothing there. If they build,
there's no attractions there. There's no restaurants. Okay, you're right. It's not like what it used to be. Now, when we were kids, you going to see a Redskins game. It was the greatest thing ever. We didn't care. But that's not what the sports market is,
40,
right?
50 years ago.
That's 40. Damn, we old, Tony.
Yeah, man,
you're right.
You better adapt or die.
Damn, Tony, you're killing me.
Adapt or die. And this area, it's a shame. And I fault the team owners. I fault the taxpayers. I fault everyone. It's a shame that this area has never had a Super Bowl or a Final Four. And we are the most powerful city in the nation, in the world.
Or the Olympics.
Or the Olympics.
They've been talking about trying to get the Olympics to DC Baltimore for the better part of 40 years, and it's never come close.
Atlanta done had everything.
Atlanta's had everything.
And we haven't had not one.
We haven't. You're right.
I mean,
we were lucky to get the ACC basketball tournament up in here, man.
Come on, man. This is,
I know, right?
It's killing me.
It's killing us.
Yeah, it's killing me. You know, Dave, I did want to give you a shout out. Everyone, Dave's lovely daughter, Akua, has been accepted to Boston University. She's going to be going there in the fall. How's it feel to have a kid in college, Dave?
Oh, my goodness. Old. I mean, I know when I'm sitting there at the graduation in a couple of weeks, I'm just going to be thinking about, the first time I was holding my arms like a football, fresh out the hospital. And, now here she is on her way to BU. But I'm super proud of her. I think she's, adjusted to, this virtual learning really well. I know a lot of kids maybe had problems with it. She handled it like a champ, and I'm super proud of my beautiful young scholar.
Well, it's going to be interesting since you've got Elijah, your younger boy. He gets to be the only guy around, man. Akua's going to be away at college. What's E going to get himself into, man?
Well, he's excited to go back in person learning. I mean, because, they had the option where he could go back, but he stayed and just finished it, on Zoom. But it's his first year of middle school, and as you all both know, that's the big adjustment age. Middle school is the first time where like almost all your teachers are kind of mean, and you only got 5 minutes to go between classes, and if you're lagging behind, you got to go after school and ask for help. And if middle school is that first kind of dose of the real world, so it'll be interesting to see how he adjusts to it. But I know young Harrison, he handled it when he made that adjustment. So hopefully Elijah will do the same.
I think the first thing Harrison learned is to always trade fruit for the chocolate milk. Never vice versa. You never. Yeah. So what he figured out he would do is he always traded with a girl because the girls are always eating fruit and everything, and he would get the chocolate milk. So we would send an extra orange with him, and he would get the extra chocolate milk, and he'd give the girl an orange. You know what I'm saying? So that's what E needs to do. He needs to follow in them footsteps and figure that out. Now, E is a sophisticated brother. E has got a very sophisticated palate. This is a young man that drinks hot tea. He's a special young man.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I mean, you're right. He doesn't really turn down tea, even like in the summertime. So he's doing his thing. But
sure he's not part British or something?
I know, right? He does like EPL. It's funny, man.
All right.
He knows EPL stuff as well as anybody. When they had those little riots going on with Man U because the Glazers, the ownership group, it was like, dang, they're over there, rioting and everything, blah blah blah. He was all over that. I was like, what's going on?
I saw that. Did you see that on TV, Tony?
EPL stuff.
Last week, the English Premier League, the Glazers, right?
Yeah,
are trying to break away.
The ownership group, I guess, and the local fans there were, they don't like any Americans some greedy billionaires involved with their sport. So they were pretty pissed off at that time.
The Glazer family is similar to something like what Jerry Jones was rumored to want to be doing, was to break away from the NFL so he could keep more of the money, and that's what they were doing. So those fans over there rioted, Tony. It looked like something out of a, I don't know, just it looked like something from the 1960s. I mean, the police were getting beaten in the streets, tear gas.
They do these smoke bombs, and they do the flares and the bombs, and so it's a lot going on with the European protests.
Hey man, this is the 50th anniversary. I think it was like either yesterday or the day before. 50th anniversary of Marvin Gaye, What's Going On. That's literally what it looked like on TV. I mean, picket signs and people throwing rocks. I mean, it was, and this over a soccer team. Now that exactly. I mean, we laugh in the United States. We think it's funny, but they serious. We laughing like that. But this is what we would do. Listen, if Jerry Jones ever really did say, I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys away from the NFL. We're going to do this. Right. We're going to do that. We're going to go to a World Football League with other super teams. And do you realize what the people of Dallas would do? They would tear A&T down. AT&T. They would tear AT&T Stadium down. The brothers would loot that joker. Someone would have the big Jumbotron. Someone would put the big Jumbotron on the back of their truck. They'd have that joker out back of their house. I'm telling you. You realize
20 games until some renegade owner moves your favorite team.
Well, Jerry,
we got a problem.
Well, remember when they built AT&T, Jerry had problems with that. That's the second Jumbotron that they had put in there. The first one they put in there was losing power. There was something defective. So Jerry made them give him another one. Is that the biggest? I think that's the biggest Jumbotron in the league, and might be one of the biggest Jumbotrons in the world.
Unless the Rams' new stadium is bigger, but I think it's got to be top two.
SoFi is. That's a nice stadium, man. When I saw that on TV, I said, "Yo,
we're gonna see all that
Super Bowl, I believe.
How we looking, Cole?
This coming year.
Yeah. What's that?
Super Bowl will be LA.
Oh, we're gonna be
Super Bowl will be Super Bowl's gonna be at SoFi, but then we want to know, when is the Super Bowl gonna be in Vegas?
2 years, next year.
You know that's coming. You already know.
I think it's
the year after that. Year after this.
I think it's the year after that is in Vegas.
That's gonna be crazy. People were worried. I remember when they said that, hey, what happens if they put the NBA All-Star game in Las Vegas? You ain't seen nothing until they put a Super Bowl there. Wait till they put a Super Bowl there.
But wait till the draft next year.
The NFL draft.
When they have the plays.
Draft in Vegas.
That's the dress rehearsal. That's the way Vegas is going to put it. That's going to be their dress rehearsal for the Super Bowl.
We all because TD Report going to be there.
TD Report will be in Vegas for that. We're bringing Cody
too.
Find
out how to do all this.
Cody's already bought his tickets. Yeah, Cody was ready to go last year.
Oh, we're gonna be there, baby.
Yeah. So think about this, Dave. You're gonna run an NFL draft, which is a 3-day event. So it's a 3-day event. Call it a 4-day event because everyone's gonna show up the day before so they can really gamble, right? So the media, the draft will be Thursday. So the media is gonna show up on Wednesday morning. They all gonna hit the hotel and go to sleep. They're gonna wake up on Vegas time, and then they're gonna gamble, and then they're gonna go to work the next day.
Yep.
So Goodell, all his people, all of that stuff is going to be going on. It's going to be a circus. So are they going to have it on the Strip, or are they going to have it in downtown Vegas?
It's Cody, I think it's Bellagio. I think it's
if they do it at so if this is Bellagio, it's on the Strip. But now they're saying that Vegas has kind of shifted.
I cannot think of the name. I think they said there's Bellagio.
It ain't at the Wynn. I know it ain't at the Wynn.
No. I think
the
it's
draft.
The draft.
Be at the stadium.
No, they said it's going to be at one of the.
This says the event will be held in the Allegiant Stadium, home of the Raiders.
Oh wow! So if they do it in the stadium,
no, because they said one of the hotels downtown was supposed to be where the draft was going to be because they had it scheduled there before the stadium was finished.
So once we figure that out, Dave, it basically still runs. It's going to be a dress rehearsal for the Super Bowl in terms of accommodations and traffic, getting people to and from places. Back and forth. Are they going to have enough hotels? Which I'm sure they do. Vegas is one of the largest convention areas in the world, so they've got the hotel rooms.
When it was first set at was the famous fountains of the Bellagio when it was first set, but they don't think that's the place.
Yeah, they can't have it at the Bellagio. They can't if they have it at the stadium. I think that area that you're talking about, Cody. I think it'll be too small.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, I know why they wanted it there. I know you can't shut the strip down.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't do that.
They shut down Philly with 1 million people.
You can't shut down the strip. You can't shut down the strip.
So, yeah, it's Vegas.
You can't shut down the strip. Tell you what, Tony. When Tupac got shot on the strip, they didn't shut the strip down. It wasn't shut down. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's when Tupac got shot. So you know they're not going to shut it down. No, they're not shutting it down for the draft.
They already got their football money.
You know, I'm trying to not. I'm going to sound like Joe Pesci in Casino. I got $100 million out here in the desert. We can't stop this going on over here. Can you imagine? They ain't going to stop that. That's that money, Tony. That nobody stops the money train, Tony.
That place is gonna be.
It's gonna be off the chain.
It's gonna be crazy.
I do want to get my picture taken with a showgirl. That's what I want. I want to get my picture taken with one of them showgirls with the feathers. That's what I want.
You crazy?
What? I ain't done it yet. The last time I was out there, I got my picture taken with Spider-Man. That wasn't as cool, man.
Hey, Dave, you know they put the draft is out there, but before that, the Pro Bowl is out there, and the Pro Bowl be selling out.
Oh, the Pro Bowl will sell out in Vegas.
The Pro Bowl's in Vegas, and then the Super Bowl is in L.A.
Yes.
And then they come back to Vegas for the draft.
It's like a whole West Coast swing. Yeah. Woo. Well, listen, the reason here's why the Pro Bowl doesn't work as a product like the NBA All-Star Game. This is why it doesn't work. A 10-time Pro Bowler, by the 10th time he gets to the Pro Bowl, how many times has his girlfriend or wife been to the Pro Bowl? It's just a ticket to Hawaii. At least 7-8 times. But she don't want to go there no more.
Do you realize it is the worst All-Star game out of the 4 major sports?
Except for the time that Sean Taylor blew up that punter. Yeah. It's been...
But do you realize,
that's a YouTube classic.
Do you realize that the game is a terrible game and it sells out every year?
It sells out every year.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. It makes no sense, but the ratings on it are terrible.
They said that the NFL Pro Bowl's ratings are higher than the World Series.
What? Yeah, how is that possible?
Because
I've never watched one. I think I stopped watching the NFL Pro Bowl when Joe Theismann was still playing.
You stopped watching, but everybody else is so in love with football that they need that drug, dog.
That's crazy.
They need that blue magic.
You said that blue magic.
They need that blue magic.
Tony, he said, I guarantee it.
I stand behind it.
It's my product. This is my brand.
Dude,
you stupid.
They need that blue magic.
Hey man, we can literally go to YouTube and find clips of Denzel saying I guarantee it. And it's like 15 minutes long, Denzel guaranteeing I guarantee it.
They need that. Hey man, that NFL, man. They need to move the Bureau of Engraving to their studios or to their place because they're printing money.
I think the only organization that does better with marketing than the NFL, if there is anybody, it would have to be McDonald's or Coca-Cola.
Or Disney.
Because don't nobody do it better than NFL. Nobody. They literally are selling a product that if you play it, you could get your brain smashed in. And guess what? People still want some more.
They want some more.
They want some more of that.
That thing is worse than crack in the 80s.
It's terrible. These jokers can't lay off it. They can't lay off it.
Hey man, he talking about people fighting over the teams in London and Ireland and all that. I tell you what, y'all want to see some real fighting? Let the Ravens make the Super Bowl against the Washington football team. And let these bars out here. I'm telling you,
it'll be like Mad Max. It'll be like Beyond Thunderdome.
He would have to call the National Guard.
Yeah, you would have to.
Yeah. When you're in the areas from like Columbia, Laurel, all the way up
Watt
to
Chapel,
to those
right
areas,
at Watt Chapel. I think that's the dividing.
Fans.
It's the dividing line. Well, they have that in New York with the Giants and the Eagles. There's one county, I think it's in New Jersey, but once you cross over, it becomes Eagles. Yeah. But if you cross back the other way, going south, going north,
but they can only
it's
play
Giants.
The NFC Championship game. Let them make the Super Bowl against each other.
You touch 301.
Yeah, exactly. 301. That's it.
We're BG&E,
301, Route 3,
Washington Gas, BG&E, wherever they mix. Those areas right there, they had to call National Guard.
Yeah, it's going to be nasty.
Because they be fighting just like they fighting over there in London. Like, we laughing at those soccer players. Man, they be fighting about the Super Bowl.
Look, I know that in baseball, I know that in baseball, the Dodgers and the Giants
Yeah.
had a really nasty thing between their fans
Real
that's
nasty.
been going for many years. And one guy, I believe, back in the late '90s, was beaten like into he was like brain injuries. I mean, it was awful. And this was just baseball, and we're talking regular season, okay, where these fans dislike each other. Now we've seen stuff in college. Now Tony, you went to Tech, I went to UVA. We ain't never seen nothing like somebody like get beat down, like really messed up. But if you put the Ravens and the WFT together, and we're not talking a regular season, we're talking this is for all of it. Yeah, it's be going down in the streets.
It's gonna be some furniture.
It's gonna be going down in the streets.
It's
People
gonna
gonna be
be some
duking.
furniture.
People gonna be duking it out.
Now
They gonna make Duke and UNC in basketball look like patty cake.
Look like patty.
It's gonna look like patty cake. They just joking.
If they playing for all the marbles.
You're gonna have two kinds of riots in the street.
Yeah,
Yeah,
be two kinds. Well, there's gonna be the riot between the fans, and then whoever team wins,
Whoever
they're gonna
team
go to
wins.
their city. They're gonna.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's gonna be riots in both.
It's gonna be
There'll
riots in both.
celebrations And the riots for
And the
losing.
riot, yeah. So
Hey
yeah.
Dave, what's the over under on couches burnt? Because between the WFT and between the WFT and Baltimore Ravens, it's a lot of Maryland grads in there. You know them jokers like to burn couches in College Park.
Oh, you already know.
They was
I mean, I
burning
just said,
couches
like,
after the women's national championship. You
Yeah,
burning a
yeah.
couch
I just
after the
wanna know-
women's national championship?
Yes. Hey,
Wow.
listen, I want to know what intrepid reporter is going to be at the Buffalo Wild Wings in Howard County trying to report live.
Yeah, that-
Man,
Oh no,
man,
someone getting
I can
stabbed.
already
Yeah,
tell.
somebody
No, someone
getting-
getting stabbed.
Yeah,
No, someone's getting stabbed.
Yeah, I'm telling
I'm sorry.
you. and
You will not see the TD report. You will not see the
you
TD
won't see
report
the
in
TD
there.
report
Because I
nowhere.
can hear Tony now, Dave.
Some wings.
I can hear Tony now, Dave. You're gonna have to wear that red WFT jersey in here. I said, no, I'm not.
or we be like, white man can't jump when they start fighting. Okay, we out here.
Hey, listen. I'm very, very serious about this. And by the way, we want to thank the people at Arundel Mills for letting us do the show there for the draft, third day of the draft. But honestly, fellas, you will not catch me in a WFT jersey at that one.
No,
There's
so
too many
that's-
Ravens fans over
That's
there.
Raven Central. right
Somebody
there.
might throw a brick. Somebody might.
already know.
And where would they find a brick? They brought the brick with them. You know, just in case they see something. I'm gonna hit this
Yeah.
joker. We're gonna drive by and hit this fool with a brick.
Yeah.
No, sir.
So yeah, those are the big games, Dave. That we laugh at all those people.
That's
but
funny. But,
We love our football in this.
oh
place.
no, it you know, I know when I remember a couple of years ago it was a Maryland West Virginia game that out in the parking lot. It was a Thursday night game. And it was ugly in the parking lot. It was some base negativity going on, man. It was just terrible. It was disgraceful, you know. And these are college kids, and you know, because the thing is with the Maryland West Virginia rivalry, and Tony, you know this because you played at Mountaineer Stadium. You've been hit with a battery in the head, ain't you? Yeah, Tony knows not to take his helmet off over there.
Yeah.
They tell you on the sidelines, keep your helmet on, please.
Helmets on.
Keep your helmets on. You gonna yeah. You know, you get hit with a full beer, and they don't sell beer at the stadium, and you don't know how a full beer got in there because they brought it with them.
Oh,
No, man. I mean, Dave, you're a Syracuse guy, so you know West Virginia. When you guys were in the Big East, you used to play West Virginia, so they used to come up there to the Carrier Dome, right?
Oh yeah, West Virginia fans, they travel.
Yeah, that was ugly.
And we used to come up there because y'all got that old Carousel Mall. I know
Oh,
Syracuse.
Yeah, Tony played at Tech, so he's been up to the Carrier
That's
Dome.
actually where I scored my last college touchdown was in Syracuse. It was like a 70-yard pass in Syracuse. They beat us 24
Back on the
to
dome.
12 or something like that. Yep.
Mhm. You got that one on tape.
It's on tape.
Somebody
somewhere.
had. I think we're gonna. You know what, Dave? Me and you, we're gonna look for. We're gonna find Tony's last college touchdown. We're gonna
Was
see
at
if we can get it on the show.
Put it on YouTube.
It
Might be on
It
YouTube.
was
Yeah.
at Syracuse. It was
At
a
Cuse.
pass. Yep.
Who was quarterbacking for Syracuse back then?
That was my man.
Al Clark.
No,
No, I mean, I'm not. No, Marvin Graves.
Marvin Graves.
Marvin Graves from Carroll High School.
Mhm.
So that would have been wow. So Lawrence Moten was there, but he was only playing basketball.
92, yeah.
He wasn't playing football. He would have been a decent football player in college if he. Wait a minute. What didn't Garland Hawkins go up there too? He would have been a heck of a free safety if he had stuck with football.
Yeah.
But you know, he was a pretty darn good basketball
What years
player.
were you there, Dave?
I was at 89 to 93.
Okay, so you saw we came up and played your senior year. We played y'all there. 92 football season. We played y'all at the Dome.
So.
Yep. Yeah, Marvin definitely was.
So Marvin was the quarterback. So after Marvin Graves, was that when McNabb took over? Did McNabb take over the next year? Somebody
95, I think, was the first full year for McNabb.
95. David Tyree was the quarter. Him and David Tyree were trying to be the quarterbacks that year, and then Tyree lost out, and McNabb became the quarterback, and Marvin Harrison would have been a junior. Is that about right?
Yeah, that's about. I think so. I get these years.
I think Marvin Harrison and McNabb crossed as starters like for maybe a year, and then Harrison went on to the NBA,
I like
NFL.
The tradition that you guys have with the 44 jersey.
No, that's great. That's one of the great traditions in sports.
Yeah, it's one of the best in sports. So I love that. So
who's the last one to wear it?
Story. I remember one year Syracuse was going down to play East Carolina, and once you every now and again when you play like a non-conference game, you'd be like, all right, we're playing this non-conference, we should be able to handle them. And that's back when they had Jeff Blake.
Oh yeah, Jeff Blake got y'all.
Man, Jeff Blake ripped up our defense so thoroughly. The most thorough beatdowns of individual beatdowns I ever witnessed while I was at Syracuse was Jeff Blake throwing 5 touchdowns on our defense.
Ooh.
And Curtis Martin, who was at Pittsburgh, running for 220 yards. Well, no, he had 220 all-purpose yards.
He was returning kicks on. He was returning kicks on y'all.
And why can't we tackle him? Well, it turned out a lot of people had a hard time tackling him.
Yeah, it turned out he got a gold jacket.
Yeah, he got a gold jacket, and honestly, I almost felt bad for him. He had to play for the Jets that whole time.
Ran through every Big East defense like it was fucking melted Swiss cheese.
Just crushed them, huh?
Oh my God!
So Dave, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Curl, the little pretty boy CGI.
He did have an S curl. Yeah, he did have an S curl.
He did have.
Yeah, his curl didn't quite go around. Yeah. Did you say the Soul Glow? You ain't right.
It was drippy.
You said it was a little drippy?
Yeah, it was a little drippy.
He was a little drippy? So listen. Ice Cube made a really big comeback because he had the Jerry curl with the shag on the back. He had the mullet, the little mullet joint going.
Mullet curl.
He get the mullet curl. Yeah, man, that's a lot of extra product you got to put on there, man. Keep that joker silky. You know what I'm saying? But listen, Dave, I'm gonna put you on the spot. I heard a rumor that you threw eggs at the Washington Bullets mascot when they didn't re-sign Juwan Howard. Is that true or false?
Well, the plan was, if you remember, Hoops was the mascot back in that era, and Hoops had said that he was going to stay, at Bowie-Mongers in Friendship Heights, and stay there until the Bullets/Wizards. Can't remember what they were, the Bullets or Wizards that year.
They were still the Bullets.
We signed Juwan Howard. Might have been the Wizards at that point. And as you know, that was the very contentious summer where the Miami Heat signed Juwan, but then the contract was rescinded because I think they were over the cap, and then
there was tampering.
Back in.
There was tampering.
Yeah, exactly, tampering. So the Wizards swooped back in and got him. But a buddy of mine that you know well, I won't mention his name, but you know him. We decided, you know what? Once we got wind that Miami had signed Juwan, that we were going to go to Bowie-Mongers with about 2 dozen eggs and just egg hoops because we were just so upset. That was the way, guys back in their 20s thought. So yeah, it was going to happen, but lucky for Hoops, he wasn't there when we showed up because he would have got egged.
Well, and as I recall, I think Hoops is the only NBA mascot to ever be thrown out of an NBA game.
That may be true. I'm not sure if the Phoenix Gorilla has ever been tossed before, but
the Phoenix Gorilla didn't.
Referee named Steve Javie who threw him out the game.
I hate Steve Javie. Can't stand him.
Steve Javie.
Well, the Phoenix Gorilla didn't give the double bird to an NBA ref.
No,
that is true.
But Hoops did. And I think I got that on tape. I think we got that on tape because they put it up on there. It said Hoops ejected. I think Wes Unseld got ejected. Hoops got ejected. Well, Wes Unseld, and then was it Bernard King? Was that when Bernard King was playing for the? I think it was when Bernard King was still playing for the Bullets.
Yeah, it might have been Bernard.
So Bernard got ejected, and then Hoops got ejected.
Wes, a coach, and a mascot. I think it was the threefer.
Yeah. So, interesting history with us and the Washington Bullets. I won't say if I was actually there for that. I can't do that because it could get me thrown off the show, Dave. But yeah, I heard the rumor. I heard it somewhere. I'm glad you confirmed that for us, man.
Yeah, because you started out real slow.
It started out like you was. It sounds like we need to run that tape back, Dave. I think some eggs were thrown. Do they have a camera in front of the buoy mongers?
Yeah, it's like a 25-year-old story, man. I
see what happened was.
So I think that's good.
So Dave, I'll tell this story because I know you remember this. Dave used to work at an organization called Home Team Sports.
I
remember Home Team Sports? That's how long Dave been in the game, man. Dave had access to all these tapes. So Dave put together this tape of college and high school highlights for Allen Iverson and put it on VHS. That's how old it was, right? Put it on VHS and gave me the tape. I was the one that asked for it, so Dave hooked me up with the tape. There's video on there of Allen Iverson dribbling a basketball. A football, like a basketball. How do you do that? Exactly. He was dribbling a football and looked good doing it, like whatever. He's throwing a football like 70 yards. He threw a football 70 yards. Just some ridiculous stuff. So the tape disappeared. It was among a circle of friends. So I let someone borrow it, and then they, I was like, Dave, whatever happened to that tape? Did we ever find that tape? I think the tape just disappeared. It's like disappeared into the ether somewhere.
Probably one of them
back in those days, VHS tapes, cassette tapes. You had to keep your head on swivel, man, because those things used to disappear and develop
all the time.
Hey, man, can you imagine what would happen if all of the VHS tapes from Freaknik just magically showed up? Somebody's grandma be in trouble, bruh. You gonna get someone's grandma thrown out the house.
Freaknik tapes. That's like the original American secret families right there.
Nah, man. Hey, look. You could go on social media and look for it, but there's a picture out on social media that happened at Freaknik. It's like 5 dudes. One woman is half naked from the waist down, and there's a police car right there, and the policeman is in on the fun. And someone someone posted it on Twitter a couple of weeks ago, and someone said, "Wait, that's my mom." I'm like, "Oh Lord, you done ooh." Somebody's mama in the kitchen frying some pork chops. And be like, "Mama, I see you on. What you doing at Freaknik?" She was like, "When? 91? Oh, yeah. See, there's some tape. People are talking about. There's supposedly a tape of the Kennedy assassination that no one's ever gonna see. Okay, them tapes from Freaknik. If them ever show up, someone's getting shot. If somebody went on TV today and said, "Hey, look, I got tape from Freaknik like 93, 94, blah, blah, blah," that joker will not live to see the next day. Someone gonna get him. Someone gonna get him.
Out the church.
Someone gonna get kicked out the church. For being unholy. Lord. Like I said, grandma got the flower print dress on. She up in the church praising, and that tape gonna come out. It's like, Hattie Mae, is that you? Huh?
You're like, oh hell.
Huh? You off the deacon board.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, them I'm gonna be honest with you, man.
Before we even had a name for it.
Lord. Oh my gosh. You can't imagine what would happen if them tapes ever surfaced.
Hey,
listen, all I got to say is, since I've never been to Freaknik, all I'm gonna say is, if you got me on tape at Freaknik, just burn the tape for me, because I don't remember. Exactly. I don't remember nothing. I wasn't down there. You know what I'm saying? I did go to Aggie Fest once, and Aggie Fest was crazy. Aggie Fest, that's like a little bit of, a smaller version, but Freaknik was crazy.
They got the shooting, and that was it.
That was it. That was like, what, 92, 93? 91, they never had it again. Yeah, listen, the closest thing, I'll tell you a fun event that I did enjoy, CIAA tournament. Always a lot of fun. Always fun to hang out at that. They're doing it in Baltimore now, right?
Yeah, it's in Baltimore.
I think in Baltimore is probably a better place for it.
It should be in D.C.
The CIAA?
Yes.
I think
got a better. Man.
We got Bowie State here. Okay.
Bowie State's right around the corner.
Right around the corner. Okay. You think they should have it here?
Yeah, D.C.
This is what I love about Tony. We should let Tony. Tony needs to be on one of them committees. Tony needs to be on one of them committees with Ben Soto and guys like that. Nobody touts DC better than Big Tony.
They don't understand what we are. We're the best in the world.
You like it here, and I love that. That's really cool.
Best in the world. I like everything here but the Redskins.
Listen, when the Major League Baseball, when they put the All-Star game here, even though Bryce Harper was going to leave us at the end of that season, Bryce Harper winning that home run derby, man, that was some of the most fun I had watching that derby. That was a lot of fun. He hit 7 home runs in a row on 7 pitches at one point to take
with the bandana.
With the DC bandana, that was nice. Man, someone need to call Bryce and get that back for us,
man.
He
went and ran off.
He went and ran off and left us. Well, listen. Well, Philadelphia and
Washington's gonna pay him.
All due respect, Philadelphia's playing pretty well this year, right? Yeah. They're in decent shape. In the NFC. I mean, the NFC East, the NL East. But I was, getting Bryce here kind of kicks. I mean, he didn't get us the World Series, but it did kind of kickstart the franchise a little bit. Him and Steven Strasburg kind of seeding the franchise with some good young players, and then we slowly built this. Winning the World Series that year was so much fun. I mean, that was a really fun thing to watch. Listen, when we had it go to the 7th game, I was sitting here thinking, what can the Nationals do to make it more heartbreaking than it's going to be? Because I'm a Washington guy. We're not supposed to win the World Series. I was just waiting for something bad to happen. And Max Scherzer, they kind of got to Max a little bit. And I'm just like, oh, Lord, here we go. We really couldn't do much with Zach Greinke. He was mowing us down. And then just by sheer luck, A.J. Hinch of the Houston Astros made the biggest mistake of his life. He took Zach Greinke out of that game. And that's when we started scoring runs. And we kept scoring. Tony said, thank you, Jesus. I was at the Nat Stadium watching that game. You got a beer shower? Yeah. When them beer, that was one of the funniest things about the playoffs. I know I got high from everybody smoking weed out there. Well, hey, DC's a different town now. Weed is okay. When they was out there celebrating right after the game. The word you're looking for is decriminalized. Well, whatever it was. All right. I was high. You was and I don't even smoke. And I was high. See, this is the problem with weed right now. And I'm with Cat Williams on this. The problem with weed right now is it's not regular weed. If you are not a weed smoker, it's got all this extra stuff in it, like these different strains. I just want regular weed. I don't want nothing on it.
No such thing that as stuff.
No, the stuff now they got makes you high.
Hey, look, ain't none of that stuff that you used to have to put the seeds off with the record album and all that.
Well,
that stuff gone.
Nah, Cat Williams talks about. Cat Williams said. Cat Williams was talking about how messed up he was. He said, I didn't realize that I was smoking weed and I got entirely too high because there was 2 joints in rotation. So he didn't realize he's taking like 2 hits per pass and he don't realize that it's 2 different joints. So he said he was real messed up. Listen, what the Nationals did that year, the beer is flying, the gentrifiers are smoking weed everywhere. I mean, it's a different town now. It's not like it was like 83 or 87 or 91 with the Redskins or 82, 84 with the Georgetown Hoyas. You're not going to see that type of celebration anymore. It's going to be entirely different. Right. Now the Capitals, when they won their Stanley Cup, they were out in Vegas, so we were partying here. I really need there to be a 30 for 30 on what happened in Vegas. Yeah, you ain't never going to find out. But can you imagine?
Yeah, they won the championship in the best town.
They won the championship and didn't fly back that night. No. They stayed in the desert one more night. They flew back the next afternoon. And Ovi was probably, honestly, I don't even care about the first round exit in 2019. Because I think Ovi was still a little hungover. Just a little.
Yeah, I think so.
Can you imagine those rookies? Those rookies have stories to tell forever and ever. How they carried Ovi and the cup through the streets of Washington, Arlington, Georgetown.
Yes, they did.
Because that whole summer, every time you turn on YouTube, it's another clip of the Capitals going by with the cup. You sitting there at brunch. You sitting there at brunch in Georgetown, and here come the Capitals go by with the cup, singing "We Are the Champions." That was crazy.
Yeah, that was.
Can you imagine what they would do with the Lombardi if they brought the Lombardi here? Lombardi be a Ben's Chili Bowl or something. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
you already know.
it's gonna be foolishness.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild.
It's amazing to think that the Caps won the championship in Las Vegas. Like that feeling of just you're a champion in Vegas. Good Lord.
Do you know? But do you realize that is? I call that the ultimate DC day. It was June 7th, 2018, when they won the cup. 40 years earlier on that day, June 7th, 1978, is when the Bullets went out to Seattle and won the championship.
Yep.
Oh wow! Hey, rest in peace, Abe Poland. Get the cake. Bring the cake out. Let's cut the cake.
40 years to the day they did it. Both of them did it out on the West Coast.
That's amazing.
And both of them did it in series that we didn't think that they were going to win.
No, the Supersonics had a great team that year.
Real good. So you saw the next year what they did.
Yeah,
they destroyed the Bullets.
Yeah, the Bullets. The Bullets, in championship series.
You don't remember this, dog, because
I don't think Cody was born yet.
He wasn't born. He don't remember the Bullets ever being good because he
that poor Cody.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, if Cody wants to see the Larry O'Brien trophy, it's there.
It's there.
It got a dust on that joker. Yeah, I said, I mean, I'll tell Ted to put some brasso on that joker or something. Some silver polish. I don't know, whatever. We got one now. The NBA, David, and you would probably know this. The Larry O'Brien trophy is the Larry O'Brien trophy, right? Every team gets an actual replica of the trophy. Or is it? It's not the same trophy like the Stanley Cup, where it's the real Larry O'Brien trophy for that year, and that's it. Everybody gets their own Larry O'Brien. Okay, so what I'm looking at when I go to Caps games, that's a replica, right? That's not the Stanley Cup. That's a replica.
Probably a replica.
It's got to be a replica.
What year did you go see it?
That's a good question. I'm not sure where they keep that Stanley Cup.
Isn't it there? It's got to be on display.
It ain't with the Caps no more.
Well, not the real one. I'm talking about the one that we have here. It would have to be a replica.
Yes, a replica.
It's got to be a replica, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So I went.
When Joe Theismann had his restaurant down in Northern Virginia, he had the Miami Dolphins, the 82-83 Super Bowl, Lombardi Charles.
He had the Lombardi. Yeah, he won the MVP. No, Riggins.
His restaurant went away, but it was known that the Dolphins Super Bowl from '82 was on display down there.
That's nice. I know when the Nationals won the World Series, the trophy was here. And I think that's the actual trophy because they had a line. Any kid that played Babe Ruth or Little League Baseball could stand in line and you could get your picture taken with it. And a lot of people got their picture taken with the actual Stanley Cup for the Caps. So you had to stand in line for 2 hours. But if you could brave it and you would do it, you get your picture taken. Now they won't let you touch it, or you can stand next to it. You can't put your arm behind it. You can just stand next to it. They don't want you touching it, kissing it, nothing like that. But I know with the Stanley Cup, the league owns the Stanley Cup. The cup belongs to the league, but they let the teams borrow it if you win it. But the Caps damaged it a lot. There's a guy that follows around from the league that follows around. He's like a Secret Service agent or something that follows the Stanley Cup around, and he gets to inspect it and everything. They said that joker needed to be repaired so much. They said I heard Uncle Ted got a letter from the league on this one. So they was basically like, look, you ain't gonna be messing up this Stanley Cup like this.
They earned that one, though.
They earned that one. That was a beautiful summer. The Nats gave us a beautiful offseason when they won their championship. We're still waiting on the Wizards, man.
The Mystics won the championship after that.
Hey, the Mystics.
So we went 18, 19, 20.
And won at least one championship.
Yeah.
And now we're waiting on the WFT to hurry up and get the Lombardi Trophy back here. And we're waiting to see if the Wizards can come up with a Larry O'Brien.
WFT.
Yeah.
Lombardi.
He said it.
I said it.
Yeah, okay.
What?
Yeah, there's the Lombardi Cancer Center up there in Georgetown.
See,
close to Lombardi Yankee.
Oh, come on, Tony. Have some faith.
Lombardi.
He said Lombardi. Come on, Tony. See,
it sounds like practice.
3 years.
Tops.
3 years.
Lombardi.
All right, let's ask Dave this question. Dave, we're gonna let you out on this one because you've been carrying the show for us tonight, Dave. So listen, what is the WFT ceiling over the next 3 years? Is it a Super Bowl? Yes or no?
I mean, listen, I do think that they set themselves up to have a pretty good, cap-friendly team. There's gonna come a point probably in the next 2-3 years where they're gonna have to back up their break truck to Chase Young. They probably want to pay Terry McLaurin top 5 wide receiver money, and we'll see who the quarterback is. But without, Fitzpatrick is a decent quarterback. He's not Captain Checkdown. He has a little Rex Grossman in him. He likes to throw.
Boy, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. I got 150, 200 WFT fans that just fainted when you said Rex Grossman. They all fainted.
I do think there'll come a point in the next 2 or 3 years where if everything is lined up right, they have that injury-free season. Maybe young Gibson becomes like the top 5 or 6 running back. McLaurin's the top 5 or 6 wide receiver. The defense is doing what they're doing. I do think there'll be a window that opens up for them to have a really good playoff run in the next 2 or 3 years. But Dynasty, I don't know. Without the quarterback, without having a Russ or an Aaron Rodgers or that kind of QB, young and signed for years, it is difficult to say that, to predict anything more than maybe an opportunity in the playoffs.
Okay. So,
gotta have that QB.
Dave Duval on the TD Report has said that the WFT window, can you expect an NFC Championship appearance? Not the win, but you're in the NFC title game within 3 years.
I think so. I think that things can come together. They've got enough. Chase Young could be, a transformational talent a la Bruce Smith, a la Lawrence Taylor. He could be that good. He could.
Congratulations. Cody says you could be on the show again.
He could. He has that potential. And if they keep, the working parts around him, offensively, they keep, the speed and McLaurin and this kid Samuel and Gibson. If they keep everyone together, they'll have a chance to, host the playoff game. If they win that, they might be in the NFC title game.
Conor McGregor is not getting them to no daggone joint. Fitz tragic. Conor McGregor looking, man, listen.
That's the thing.
we
don't write that down.
Just so that way with a hand circle on the line.
But that's because the Titans have a lot of working parts. And frankly, Tannehill really is that bad of a QB, but he's not elite. So again, could Washington imitate that same formula to get to the NFC Championship in the next 3 seasons? It's possible, but I just feel like they do need that franchise quarterback.
You know what? Dave, let me give you something. What they should do right now is sight unseen. They should go give 2 first-round draft picks right now in Houston and say, give us the rights to Watson. Just say, give us the rights to Watson, and we'll work out everything for this law.
All these IG models live here. You gonna bring Watson here?
I know. Ooh, boy.
Is you crazy?
I'll bring him here in a heartbeat.
You would need, honestly, you would literally need to follow him around with Ray Donovan
Houston is off the chain.
and Olivia Pope to cover up them messes.
Houston is off the chain.
No, Houston crazy.
No, I'll put it right out in Ashburn. Now I keep a ring system on him.
I would follow him. I would have to follow him everywhere, bro. He would have to be.
He'd be the first player with the body cam.
Look.
That's the kind of body cam. Every time something goes, it be ring.
mean, why can't he be addicted to going into strip joints like everybody else? That's see, to me, that's normal. I can see that.
You know what Vince Young with all the strip clubs?
Oh my God, Vince Young. Oh boy.
But he was in there with Pac-Man Jones because he said he liked the strip club.
Yeah, Vince Young. Well, Vince Young once brought his own tequila to TGI Fridays. He brought his own. I'm serious.
He the type dude walking around with his own jersey on.
Correct. Correct. No, listen. Vince Young is probably, how old is he now? About 30? About 31, 32?
Vince Young older than that.
Vince Young, how old is he? About 35?
He was like 22 in 2005.
Okay. He's not 50.
He ain't no 50.
Shut up, Cody.
Cody's like late 30s.
He's like late 30s. Okay. Here's what I want. I want to see.
Rose Bowl, that was Matt Leinart, right?
Right.
Yeah,
I want to see a 30 for 30 with Matt Leinart and Vince Young, and I want them to talk about 38. So in about 10 years, when they're almost 50, I want to see those two guys on a 30 for 30 and talk about what went wrong and what they was getting into, because they was wilding. Vince Young was definitely wilding.
Oh man.
Because Matt Leinart, as I recall, let me see, just to make sure I get this right. There is one young lady who is getting child support from Matt Leinart, and who is that NBA player? You know who I'm talking about, Dave. Blake Griffin. She has kids with Blake Griffin, and she has kids with Matt Leinart.
She had the jackpot.
And she's basically drawing that
dog.
And I think it's 2 kids with Blake Griffin, and Blake Griffin signed like 100 million. So how does that work? Because Matt Leinart never made that much money.
He made a lot.
How much did Matt Leinart make?
Matt Leinart made money too.
So let's look that up.
Did Matt Leinart come in the old contract system?
No, because the last quarterback in the old system was
the Indian looking, the Native American looking dude from Oklahoma.
Oh gosh, that guy. Yeah, that joker. He made a lot of money too.
Man, Matt Leinart made some money.
Let's see. Let's look Matt Leinart. We gotta look him up. Hold on.
Matt Leinart made money.
Sports Track, hold up.
He has a net worth of $16 million, so he ain't doing too bad. But here's how much he made in the NFL.
So his career earnings over 7 seasons were $18 million.
Okay.
18.8 million.
So basically, that's all he made.
Yeah.
But
4 seasons with the Cardinals, he made 13.6. 2 seasons with the Texans, 4.3.
Oh, she on welfare with Matt Leinart then.
With the Raiders, it's
what?
$750,000.
And what Blake Griffin make? So she on welfare.
Blake Griffin.
That was her side job with Matt Leinart.
The rumor was Blake Griffin was paying something like.
I think she went from Matt Leinart to Blake Griffin, so she was.
Oh, she was on the come up.
You said it. So I think her name is like Bryn something or other. She's real pretty. Oh, she's very pretty. She's very pretty. And I always wondered how that works, but I think your boy Blake Griffin is paying something like $100,000 a month per child.
So that's gonna be about $40,000 that I'm about to win tomorrow off this lottery for getting vaccinated.
Yes, yes, sir.
Hey, Dave, I'm about to win this vaccination money tomorrow.
Oh shit! Now how many? 40,000, right?
Yeah, did you get vaccinated in Maryland?
I did.
Okay, yeah, you in the lottery. Next 39 days, we got each day is 40,000.
Say what? I should get vaccinated again.
Yeah.
Say what?
171.
So we get about $40,000 for the next 40 days.
Yeah, for the next 39 days is 40,000, and then on the 40th day, on 4th of July, they're gonna go for 400,000.
I don't like to joke. I don't like to joke about Hart because Tony did have a heart attack. He's a heart attack survivor, but Cody just told him how much Blake Griffin is making, and Tony's heart almost skipped a beat.
$171 million.
Come on, dog. That's career. That's a lot of money. He been hurt for most of it.
She writing check.
He ain't making, tens of millions for the Brooklyn Nets, but he's making something.
No, he's making
36 million for the Brooklyn Nets.
He making
36 million.
36 million right now.
Because that's how much he's owed. It's how much he's owed off the.
After the buyout.
It's after the buyout. He's still owed 36 million.
Yeah.
Which I think Brooklyn. You say Jesse James.
Blake Griffin is a Jesse.
And I don't think and by the way, I think he's only dunked the basketball like once this year or something. I don't think he can dunk at all. I don't think he can dunk anymore.
36 million. Man, there's people broke getting put out their homes, and this dude's stealing money. Man, they need to put an APB up there, man, on that dude, man.
That's funny. That's real funny because and I do feel bad for Blake because of the knee injuries and all of that stuff.
I don't feel bad for no millionaire.
What?
171 million, you go hurt my knee right now.
That's a lot of bread. Yo, kid, for real. I honestly, look, man. Hey, man, listen.
Daggone right, you can come smash him up.
So basically, Blake Griffin. But look, you could say that he's stealing checks, but he definitely writing them for them kids. He writing checks.
All right.
He writing a bunch of checks. That's $12 million a year, man.
Dog, y'all got.
No, that's like $2.4 million a year just on child support.
Yeah, y'all got me, dog.
That's good money, man.
Y'all got me, man.
That's a stay-at-home single mom.
Well, she has a mansion. I mean, she's got a mansion.
She's making $2.4 million in child support.
I think it's more. I think it's two. That's per child.
Jesus.
It's $120,000 a month per child. So, yeah, that's 2.4 per child. So she's making 4.8. Yeah, that's really nice. That looks really good on a tax return. And by the way, that money is non-taxable.
Right.
He can't write. Oh, it's double. It's both. He can't write it. He can't write it off as an expense, and she doesn't have to pay taxes on it.
She on the come up.
No, she's up.
She up.
She's there.
Yep.
Yes. And I believe it's probably, and these kids, and Blake's kids are young. They're like 5. So that's another minimum 13 years. So you got to put them through college too. So you add another 4 onto that. So, I mean, that's a solid 16 years, 15 years of child support at 2.4.
Some dude going to be chasing that right now looking for her.
Nah, nothing. She good.
I'm following her right now.
You following her now?
You following her IG.
Man,
yeah,
hey, man, let me know if you get a come up.
Hey, Cody's a young, good-looking fella.
They gonna be like, the TD Report got a brand new bus traveling.
Oh, snap. That's what I'm talking about.
We just tried it. What's their job? Oh, they just report.
Tell her I want to have steak for lunch on the show. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that really good, not that Ruth Chris. I want the Charlie Palmer steak. I want to.
She arrived in a helicopter.
You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
She owned a helicopter.
Yo, Dave DeVal, you've been on the show now for us. We really appreciate you. We've kept you from your evening. We are really sorry, but thanks for coming on the TD Report, Dave.
Fun, Dave.
This is one of our fun shows, man, having you on, man.
It was definitely fun, bro. I appreciate you guys having me on, man. Let's do it again.
Hey, congratulations to Miss Akua for graduating Wilson. Oh, no, she's not Wilson. What high school is she at? Albert Einstein High School. Graduating.
I know that. We used to call it
Crime-stein.
Yeah, they call it Crime-stein.
Some criminals. Don't be talking. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, we can't roast Akua on her own show. We can't roast her on her own show.
That's what they call it. Crime-stein.
Oh my God.
I'm not telling you. Crime-stein.
So Dave, when she gets up to Boston, we're gonna have to take a father's trip, and we'll go up there and embarrass her, take her, get her some lunch or something, embarrass her on campus. Yeah, 2 old guys walking around with Akua, right?
Exactly.
Hey, congratulations, and definitely send my congratulations to her mom as well, man. Thanks a lot for coming on, D.
All right, brother.
Good to talk to you, boys.
We'll talk to you again, bro.
Go Wiz.
All right, man. Yes, we need to win.
Appreciate you.
All right, brother.
All right. Dave DeVal with us today on the TD Report. We've been on a long time today. This is the longest show since we did the draft.
Yeah, we're on an hour 47 minutes.
Okay.
So the draft,
Yeah, we haven't done the show this long.
We haven't been here, folks. We've been gone.
So we need to get
baseball. Cody's getting ready. Hey, June 18th, make sure y'all come out and check my man Cody out. He's setting us joint up. He's doing his movie thing.
Got a movie going on.
He got a movie thing. My man Dave's kid playing baseball.
American Legion this year.
Rolling. Hey, folks, we are rolling. getting it right, doing things.
Yeah, Harrison.
Cody, we're gonna hold him up there. You gotta go get that girl so we can get her to come up.
Yeah, we gotta get her on there. Yeah. I just want her to come on the show. I want to have her on the show.
I want that loop.
You want the loop?
I want that loop so we can drive.
You want her to bless us with a truck. Bless us with a bus.
Tour bus. So we can drive everywhere. Go.
You know how much one of them things costs, Tony? You want like the Madden Cruiser?
She getting 200. What y'all do the math? How much she getting a month? A lot.
She's getting over 200,000.
That's why I'm calling a lot.
No, 200. Yeah,
a lot.
A lot.
It's 200. She's getting over 220,000 a month in child support.
Oh.
Wait a minute. That's just for her two youngest.
Well,
her two older kids, I don't know how much Matt Leinart is paying, but it don't matter because that's just like nobody's still paying.
$5,000 a month,
but he's still paying.
$10,000 a month.
Yeah,
girl getting like $250,000 a month in child support. Where they do that at? Well,
her house.
Yeah, she don't come up. I wish y'all could take a picture of her and see what
she is. She is a very attractive young lady. I think she played volleyball at USC or something like that. Yes. So she sounds like a typical tall LA leggy blonde. As last I've been told.
Whatever she is, she's doing it right.
I haven't been on her IG page, but I've been told that she's very interesting.
Hey folks, y'all on here because I got my people on live. Y'all need to go over here to the TD Report. Y'all need to go to the TD Report.
Hit the subscribe button.
The subscribe button. Go to the TD Report on YouTube.
Mash it down.
Yeah, we just saying, we were freestyling tonight. We didn't talk about Kwame Brown.
We're gonna talk about that. We'll talk about that Thursday.
We'll talk about that Thursday.
There's probably gonna be another outburst.
Yeah, and we just rolling, folks.
We definitely like comments. Cody follows the comments for us and responds. But tell us what we're doing wrong. Tell us what we can do better. But guess what? We'll be back on Thursday, and we'll do our best for it.
Banging this thing out and having fun. And when the weather get good, we're gonna take them on outside and sit out here and put the fire bowl up and just sit around.
Now, that'll be cool. That'll be pretty cool.
And just we can do all kinds of things. We got these lights and all this stuff out here, man. This stuff is good.
Yeah.
We just hang over here. We over to mom's house, come over here and chill out.
Hey, listen, would your mom let me smoke a black and mild out here? I'm just asking.
I don't want to
disrespect the house.
You ain't smoking that garbage.
I don't want to disrespect the house. No, it's a homage to our boy, man, to Club Shay Shay.
Man, we smoke
real
stuff.
So listen, when we get to the Hall of Fame, Shannon Sharp gonna be there, right?
Yeah, he gonna be there.
We gotta talk to Shannon.
I'm gonna get him on the show.
We gotta get Shannon on the show.
Shannon on the show.
Shannon, if you're watching, look us up on YouTube, Shannon. Check us out. Definitely want to have you on the show. We want to talk with Shannon.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to this girl, Tiffany. Hey, baby. Was having an argument with her.
Oh.
And you know me, we start arguing about all
kinds of
stuff.
You chirping.
You know I be tripping. But the girl came on and she got quarter attitude. She came at me hard. And man, I went back at her. She came back. And then we inboxed each other. After I said sorry. I apologized to her and everything else. Then when she said, I was in the military, she fought in the war. I said, oh.
We love veterans.
I said, man.
Veterans on the show.
Come find out and everything else, man. She served her country, then did all that. And I was like, man, you know what? I told him, I said, it's my fault, baby. I didn't mean to do that. Tip, love you, girl. Come check us out. Thank you for serving. You know we love you, baby.
Tell a friend.
Yeah, you better tell a friend. Yeah, we go. Hey, what's up, Kim? Hey, my girl, Kim. We're watching your Steelers lose to the Redskins.
Yeah, we watching the replay. Y'all terrible.
Y'all were terrible. Y'all cost us the division.
Where's Ed Tomlin at when you need him?
He went back on him. He was on the milk carton after this game.
Oh,
we couldn't find Ed Tomlin. He talked that junk. And then we had I went to Giant looking for Ed.
Ed went in the
Ed Tomlin. I was in the 2% low milk looking for his.
Hey, look, Ed turned state's evidence.
He was on the milk carton.
Ed turned state's evidence and went to witness protection. He was gone.
Yeah, he was gone.
So we're gonna be back on Thursday.
I know. I feel like
we're besties. That's funny.
We besties.
We're gonna be on the show on Thursday. One of the things we're gonna talk about are the outbursts with Kwame Brown. We're going to highlight the story. We're gonna talk about the background, the Jordan issues, and then what happened on the All the Smoke podcast.
And the WFT.
And the WFT.
And the Cowboys.
And the Cowboys.
We're going to
have a couple of insiders on.
And I got to talk to you about my man Jerry Jones and all the other stuff that's going on.
Can we talk to Jerry? We've got to get
I'm
Jerry.
I'm gonna call Maryland and see if we can get Jerry. If we ever get Jerry on the show, we'll blow it up because I'm gonna come at Jerry real hard. He know I'm gonna come at him hard.
Because see, Tony is a Cowboy fan. That's the issue. He's a Cowboy fan that wants the Cowboys to win so desperately.
Yep.
But what Tony doesn't understand is as long as Jerry is involved in the football operation, the Cowboys will always be a second-tier team.
That's low.
I'm sorry, Tony. I'm just keeping. I just got to keep it real on the show.
You got Cody over here watching WFT.
Cody's watching WFT.
You can't put a game where they took out the 11-0 Steelers in front of the
So Cody is behind the glass. He's eating snacks. He's watching TV. Cody is over here chilling, man.
Y'all were 4-7 for this game.
Yes, they were 4-7, Tony.
They went up 14-0 by halftime, and we came back and beat them.
The Washington football team were Jesse's.
Oh.
They were Jesse James. You see that right there? Hey, that ain't a Rona mask. That's a Jesse James mask.
That's terrible.
That's what they are. And they're going to fool you this year because you think they're going to do something and Fitztragic is going to show up.
Okay.
And y'all think Heineken Beer Bottle going to do something. He ain't doing a daggone thing.
So, in closing, we had Dave DeVal on the show, did a great job. We talked about the Caps. Hey, sorry. Talked about the Wizards losing Game 1 in their playoff series. Game 2 is going to come up on Wednesday. We will have Dave back. I'll probably have Dave back in for a slightly shorter stint, but he'll talk about and break down the Wednesday night game. He'll break that down for us on Thursday. I think we can get Dave for like 10 minutes. We'll talk about that. We talked about some old school stuff in the D.C. area. We talked about why doesn't the D.C. area get a Super Bowl? When can that happen? When can Baltimore get a Super Bowl? Why don't both of these teams get their stadiums together, get a proposal package, and the league will reward them with that? That needs to happen.
Well, they would be halfway like Howard County and build
a dome, two mega stadiums together. Tony, it would never work. That would never work. But if the two ownerships would do what they need to do in order to enhance their stadiums to make it conducive for a Super Bowl to be here, because I think Snyder is going to have to go retractable roof on whatever he builds.
Yeah, I just want to see the paws being thrown every day.
You just want to see.
Ravens,
You want to see
Redskins.
Well, wait a minute. The Nationals and the Orioles play pretty much every year, and there's never any fights. Well, let's be honest. The Orioles have nothing to fight about, right?
No. The Orioles are the worst team in the DMV.
They're terrible.
Out of every team, the Orioles are the worst. They got the worst ownership. They're the worst team.
Terrible.
They need to move them.
No, you can't lose the Orioles.
Hey, folks, make sure you catch us Thursday. Hey, Daryl, I'll see you Thursday, baby.
Thursday. We're going to sign off now. This is Dave Combs.
Tony Kennedy.
This is the TD Report. Thanks to Cody for running the show for us. We're going to see you on Thursday. Yeah, he ran a great show. Thank you to Dave DeVal for joining us as our guest. Appreciate you.
Congrats.
Hey, hit the subscribe button for us, please. Thank you.